We needed a place where everything could be captured. A single page paper notebook did not suffice for our data collection as well as our organization. Another issue had been also storage of that data. There needed to be one central repository where researchers could go, whether it be our collaborators or our different research assistants and the different PIs, needed a place where they could put their data and organize it. Initially, we started off with developing some of the software in-house. However, for various reasons, we determined that an additional lab notebook capability that included graphics was required. As such, we evaluated several different types of software during the course of several months, and in the end we chose to go with the Rescentris software and use the CERF system, primarily because it had the ability to be extensible. It was able to handle graphics as our scientists were looking for, and met a lot of the requirements that the scientists had given to me as part of their requirements. One of the major hurdles was being able to organize every different type of data. So we needed a way that needed a software or a database or a company that was willing to work with us as our science changed. Rescentris and the relationship we have with them has been extraordinary. Technical issues, problems with bugs in the early days of the implementation were handled almost the same day. We've been able to, as a co-developer, been able to take information, ideas, requirements that we've established here and been able to turn around, give those to Rescentris, and within a matter of days or weeks we've been able to implement those as part of the operation of the software.
CERF has been a time saver in the fact that we're not doing the double work of recording things twice, once in the lab and then taking it back and putting in our paper notebook. It's all right there, accessible. It also saves time as our principal investigators and others who are working on the projects can access the notebooks there at their desks, and look at, and the data can be discussed in an easier format. Everybody at a round table type discussion, and we can all look at each other's data rather than creating a PowerPoint presentation or overhead slides.
One of the advantages that we found with CERF was that we could take lab notebooks. We could be working on a lab notebook. A principal investigator could be spending time reviewing work that's already been done, reviewing that same project simultaneously. We didn't have to wait until the end of the project. We could actually see what was done up to this point, fast, efficiently, without a lot of effort. That actually improved the opportunities for our PIs, because our PIs could then do a better job of managing the project because they knew where we were in practically real time without having to do a lot of work searching that information. That allowed for them to direct projects along paths more efficiently.
So within science, obviously people change jobs, as in any career, and one of the things that has been hard to track is that scientists work when they leave the facility. Traditionally, a notebook has been either passed on to the person that replaces them or it becomes archived. So their work essentially becomes inaccessible. With CERF, we are able to access that data as we need it.
Another feature that we liked about with collaboration was the ability that we would be able to potentially share that information with some of our other collaborative partners. Behind me on the wall there's some things talking about the Genome Research Institute, the University of Dayton, Wright State. We had individuals that we were working with or are working with on a regular basis on many of our projects that we would be able to collaborate information on our projects with projects that they were doing and bring all of that information together. This is something that didn't exist in any kind of real format in the past. We're now able to do this electronically. CERF basically has saved us
saved the government and the taxpayer a considerable amount of money. The costs to implement the CERF system were relatively inexpensive. The return on investment was the fact that, again, our PIs could do a lot of work a lot faster in a lot shorter period of time. Our researchers didn't have to go through, as Andrea made the point, taking paper into the lab, putting on notes, then taking it back to put it into a lab notebook, etc. These things can be done now in one step instead of multiple steps. Again, that's a time saver. That gives makes us more efficient in our laboratory efforts. It makes us more efficient in the results that we get. Additionally, because we're doing this electronically, the data integrity is better because we're able to put all of this data together in one convenient integrated package. Information doesn't get lost. That's probably another key thing, and the lack of duplication. We don't have duplicate copies of things floating around the building that we had in the past. Things are all now integrated into one electronic whole, as it were. Another feature of CERF is its ability to archive. We can take laboratory notebooks, merge them together into one large notebook at the end of a project. This allows us to generate, and this was one of our co-development efforts with Rescentris, this allows us to generate this one single notebook that can be printed out, which allows us to meet Air Force and federal government documentation standards for archived records, which requires a paper copy. The rest of the time, we have this information remains in the computer. But the added advantage of it being in the computer, even though the project is complete, even though it's archived, in the past, records were boxed and sent off the base to some warehouse. Today, those records, even if they're in the archive state, are located in the computer. So if an individual needs to do search on a specific lab procedure that they performed on a previous project, they don't have to reinvent the wheel. They don't have to request paper documents to be brought in from a warehouse and have to search through numerous dozens of boxes to try to find something. They can go into the search feature that CERF provides and actually put in some keywords, and it will bring back even information that has been put into archive status.
Another unique feature of CERF is the ability to protect intellectual property. We have a lot of collaborations, different universities, even different directorates within the Airforce Research Lab. And it's very important to be able to time, date, stamp different research discoveries as they come along, and it will be important when also we collaborate with different industries and things like that, so that we know who really has the right to a different patent or different licensing, or be able to even just publish papers. Being able to know that this is our own invention or our own discovery, and be able to record that is a very key feature and unique feature to CERF.
What was accomplished was, within about a year's period of time, we were able to take a large quantity of previously paper data, bring it into an integrated data format, put it into a computer system, actually start bringing data that was being collected on laboratory instruments, integrate that on a project basis. This allowed our PIs to be able to look at instrument data, literature searches, laboratory notebooks, a whole host of information sources at their desk. They didn't have to go searching all over the building for things as they might have had to do in the old days with paper. CERF gave us the data integration management system that we were looking for.